The world watches as Tehran burns, and in the Oval Office, President Trump considers a move that could reshape the Middle East forever. Military options are on the table as the Iranian regime faces its deadliest internal challenge in years.
Two U.S. officials told CNN that the president is weighing a series of military options. This follows his public threats to strike the Iranian regime if it continues to use lethal force against its own citizens. In Tehran, the streets have become a battlefield. Frame-grabbed video shows fires lighting up the night sky as the population rises in defiance of the long-standing government.
The human cost is staggering. According to human rights activists in Iran, at least 490 people have been killed in just 15 days. The air is thick with smoke and desperation. Arrests have topped 10,000. Among those hauled away by security forces are 169 children, painting a grim picture of the crackdown's intensity.
Trump was briefed in recent days on specific plans for intervention. The options focus on targeting the security services that are currently being used to suppress the protests.
On Sunday, while traveling on Air Force One, Trump told reporters that he is looking at some very strong options. He emphasized that the military is currently making determinations.
He mentioned that leaders in Iran reached out to negotiate on Saturday. Trump believes they are tired of being beat up and are looking for a way out of the conflict. Despite the tough talk, there is a deep divide inside the administration. Some officials worry that military strikes could backfire and actually help the regime. The fear is that kinetic action might rally the Iranian people to support their government out of a sense of nationalism, undermining the very protests the U.S. wants to help. There is also the risk of direct retaliation. If the U.S. strikes, Tehran might respond with its own military force, igniting a much larger regional conflict. To avoid this, Trump is looking at options that stop short of physical strikes. Cyber operations are at the top of the list to disrupt the regime's control. By targeting the Iranian military's digital infrastructure, the U.S. could effectively blind the forces used to crack down on the protesters in the streets. New sanctions are also on the table. These would target regime figures and critical sectors of the economy, specifically energy and banking, to drain the government's resources. Communication is another front in this battle. The administration is exploring how to provide Starlink technology to the people of Iran. Trump indicated he would likely call Elon Musk to discuss bolstering internet connectivity, allowing protesters to bypass the information blackouts imposed by Tehran. This echoes efforts made during previous unrest. Providing connectivity is seen as a way to give the Iranian people a voice when the regime tries to silence them.
The preparation for these options has involved a number of different agencies. A formal high-level meeting is expected this Tuesday to finalize the strategy.
Trump plans to convene his national security team to discuss how to proceed. The stakes could not be higher as the clock ticks on the regime's survival. Tehran, however, is not backing down. The hardline parliamentary speaker, Mohammad Bakr Ghalibaf, has issued a chilling warning to Washington. He stated that if the U.S. takes military action, all U.S. military and commercial shipping centers in the region will be considered legitimate targets for retaliation. Ghalibaf added that Iran would not limit itself to reacting only after an action is taken, suggesting the possibility of preemptive strikes against American interests. When asked how the U.S. would react to such a threat, Trump's response was characteristically blunt. "We will hit them at levels they've never been hit before." The president has made it clear that while he does not want boots on the ground, he is prepared to hit the regime where it hurts most. In a post on social media, Trump wrote that Iran is looking at freedom like never before and that the United States stands ready to help. He reiterated this stance during a meeting with oil executives, stating that if the killing of protesters continues, the U.S. will get involved in a significant way. The regional diplomatic wheels are also turning. Secretary of State Marco Rubio spoke with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu about the unfolding situation. They discussed not only the protests, but also the broader implications for Syria and Gaza as the regional power balance shifts in real time. The Israel Defense Forces said they are closely monitoring developments. While they view it as an internal Iranian matter, they are preparing for any outcome. An IDF spokesperson stated that they are continuously improving their operational readiness and defensive capabilities as the third week of protests begins.
Netanyahu is set to convene his own security consultation. Developments in Iran and the situation in Lebanon are at the top of the Israeli agenda. The situation is a powder keg. One wrong move could trigger a conflict that spans continents. Yet the cries for freedom in Iran continue to grow louder. Protesters in Tehran are risking everything. They face a regime that has shown no hesitation in using lethal force to maintain its grip on power.
The New York Times was the first to report that Trump had been briefed on the military options, signaling that the planning phase is already well underway. As the death toll rises, the pressure on the White House to act increases. Every hour of silence is seen by some as a missed opportunity to save lives.
But the memory of past interventions hangs heavy over the Capitol. The desire to help is balanced against the fear of starting another endless war. This is why the non-kinetic options, like cyber warfare and Starlink, are so attractive. They offer a way to strike the regime without firing a single shot. However, if the violence against civilians reaches a certain threshold, those options may no longer be enough for a president who prides himself on strength.
The international community is divided. Some call for restraint, while others believe that now is the moment to finally end the regime's long reign.
The Iranian leadership knows they are in a corner. Their threats are an attempt to deter the U.S., but they may only be speeding up the inevitable confrontation. Back in Washington, the lights in the Pentagon stay on late into the night. General staff are refining the target lists for the president's consideration. Every detail matters, from the trajectory of a cruise missile to the frequency of a cyber attack. Nothing is being left to chance.
The coming days will be critical. As the Tuesday meeting approaches, the world holds its breath to see which path Donald Trump will choose.
Will it be a surgical strike, a digital blackout, or a renewed push for negotiation? The fate of millions may depend on the answer.
The people of Iran continue to chant for change, their voices rising above the sound of gunfire and the roar of the fires.
For them, the intervention isn't just a matter of geopolitics. It is a matter of life, death, and the hope for a future they have dreamed of for decades.
As we wait for the White House's decision, one thing is certain. The situation in Iran has reached a point of no return. Stay tuned as this story develops.